Great, great. Thank you for your responses, guys. Thank you, Ankit. Thank you, Vignesh. Thank you, Shashank. So, as you all know, today we have gathered here to learn or to understand how someone can master DSA, that is data structures and algorithm, the smart way, and land an SDE job role at Google or maybe companies like Mang companies like such. And the session will be taken by none other than Saurabh Prateek, who himself is a web solution engineer too at Google. And he is going to share his insights on what are the best ways and what are the best methods in which you can, have a good grasp of data structures, how much time you should devote daily in order to do it efficiently and be Google ready for it. So, in the meantime, he is joining. What we can do is, yeah, we can do a small activity where you can drop in the chat box what you guys are exactly doing. Like, sort of would be happy to know what his audience is like today. So, who all are already, developers, or who all are already in a service-based company looking for a switch. Some of you can be freshers also. So what exactly is your discipline of education? So you can post that there, and we'll be able to know that what all personas we have today. Great, great. Okay, someone is lawyer also. Great. Nice, nice, nice. And okay, someone is writing, I'm in Bank of America as a full stack developer. Okay, great. Thank you for your responses, guys. And having said that, Saurav is already among us. So it's time for me to hand over the session to him. Hey, Saurav, how are you?
Hey, hi Anshita. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, great. So we were just waiting for you, and I was just asking them to post what all personas they have, what all job roles they are currently working in. So we have a lot of responses for you to see and for you to analyze the kind of audience today we have. Having said that, I think we are now good to go. It's already 7:03. We should just start now. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Saurabh Prateek. I'm a web solutions engineer here at Google from past 3 years. And yeah, this session is all about how you can crack a Google SG interviews if you are preparing for or if you are planning to do so. So I'll just share my screen. I hope that I was visible. If yes, then you can like type yes in the comments. Okay, awesome. Cool, great. So moving forward, I would first like to talk about how the interview structure of a Google SJ interview looks like. So it is basically divided into three types of interview rounds. First is the DSA round, that is a data structure and the algorithms round. The second one is the system design round, and the third one is the Googliness round. So Googliness round is also called a leadership round or a managerial or behavioral round in other companies. In Google, we term it as a Googliness round, right? So in this session, we'll mostly be talking about the DSA round, data structure and algorithms round, and we'll also cover problem in the session. We'll discuss how we can solve a DSA problem and how you can come up to an optimal solution for the same, right? So these are the three interview structure. So first one is the DSA round, that is also called data structure and algorithms round. These rounds are like generally expected to have a time frame of 45 to 60 minutes. Mostly they last for 45 minutes. And the main thing is that like if you are a fresher or if you have 2 to 3 years of experience, then you can expect a lot of these interview rounds present in your interview structure. So basically, if you are like applying for Google or any other manned companies, then there are a series of interviews, right? You will probably go through 5 to 6 round of interviews, and if you are a fresher or you have a work experience of maybe 2 to 3 years, then you can expect 3 to 4 data structure and algorithms now um, should be present at the initial part of the interview. And after that, if you really have some good work experience, then there can be 1 or 2 system design rounds, right? So system design rounds are a bit lengthy as compared to the data structures and algorithms round. So in system design round, it lasts at least for 60 minutes. It can extend more than that as well if the interviewer plans to do so, but in general, they last for approximately 60 minutes, where you are expected to design a high level service or a very like dedicated piece of a big system. So everything needs to be done there. Like you come up with a high level design. If like you discuss about scaling, you perform some mathematical computation about multiple metrics, how your systems will kind of handle that, right? So those comes up in the system design round. And the third one is the googliness round. So this round basically involves scenario based questions. So it is very similar to a behavioral round. So in other companies, so these are called behavioral rounds. So these does not like um, take place for a longer duration of time. It's generally a 30 to 40, max to max 45 minutes. Generally, it takes for a 30-minute of time frame where a hiring manager will ask you some situation based problems like you are what were the like challenging projects you faced in your previous organizations, right? How were you able to resolve a conflict when you are in the previous organization or you are in the previous role, right? If this situation comes up, then how you will gonna tackle that in your future role. So these are the kinds of problems you can expect in the googliness and leadership round. So these are the high level 3 types of round which you can expect if you're applying for a SWE interview at Google. Yeah. So people are writing their Google interview experiences. It's like Muskan has mentioned, I was interviewed at Google and I couldn't go through the second round. Those questions was quite tough. So can you help me with? Okay, it makes sense. Yeah, we'll discuss a problem so you can have a high level idea that how you can solve it, right? But for more, like, you can especially like you can go some with some paid courses. Like Coding Ninjas also have their boot camp, right? Full stack boot camp. You can join them and you can upskill yourself so that you don't like end up failing in any of the interview rounds, right? That can be necessary. Okay, so moving forward, since this agent session is mostly around data structure and algorithms, so I'll mostly talk about DSA round, right? So how a DSA round looks like in Google. So basically, in the TSA round, it stays for 45 minutes, right? It's there for 45 minutes, and within that 45 minutes, you can like the candidate should expect to at least one solve one DSA problem, right? So the interviewer will provide you with one data structure algorithms problem, and they will expect that you will come up with an optimal solution, right? For that. And if you are able to solve it maybe in 30 minutes or 25 minutes, then interviewer can ask you a follow-up question which will be related to that problem itself. So if I have devised a problem, I provided you with the problem statement and you came up with a optimal solution within say 25 or 30 minutes, then I will try to utilize the left over for 15 minutes by providing you a follow-up question regarding the same problem. So I will gonna like tune um, some of the part of piece of the problem statement differently, and I'll ask that okay, like what will happen or how will you solve this problem if this goes that way, right? So a bit tuning the problem statement and asking that in order to utilize the leftover time, right? And if you're not able to solve the problem, if you're not like if the interviewer is saying that you're not going anywhere with the approach, then what the interviewer can do is that interviewer can provide you with the hints, and that is completely normal in the interviews because the interviewer also want you to like actually succeed. They don't like that if you like are going nowhere with the problem statement. So they will probably, if they see that you're not like you are not getting the problem at all, they will probably provide you with some hints so that you can get the initial idea and you can like proceed in the right direction. So that is the overall agenda of the interview. They're not going to help you completely, but yeah, they do provide some kind of hints so that you get unstuck. Okay. So we discussed a bit about DSA round. Uh, any questions so far, like related to these slides? I'll be happy to answer. Okay, I don't see. Okay, there are some questions. Total, how many rounds are there? So, Parmar, it depends upon the interview, or it basically depends upon the position as well. Like if you're there for a entry level position, or you're there for a mid level or a senior engineering position, but average you can expect 5 to 6 interview rounds. Do we need competitive coding level of DSA? How much does referral matter for these roles? So you might need competitive coding level of DSA. I'm not able to understand what do you mean by competitive level of DSA, Shivam. So uh, the thing is that you need to have an in-depth knowledge of data structures. Like even the advanced data structure, you should have a good knowledge of it, and you should have the capability of applying them in the problems. And about the second question, how much does a referral matter? So referral actually matters. They help you to get you to the interview position. So you can get the interview opportunity, but after that, referral does not have any influence. Once you're on the interview table, it totally depends upon your skills, how skilled you are in these technical domains. That will be the only thing which will gonna take you through the interview. So referrals are only there for taking you to the interview opportunity. That's it. Level of difficulty of the DSA problems. Okay, so you can expect a medium hard level of DSA rounds. Definitely, there will not be easy questions. That's for sure in these uh, companies. Okay, a lot of questions are there. If I miss anything, you can like definitely ask at the end of the session, because I see there are a lot of questions. How to approach a new problem which I'm not aware of? That's a good question actually. So the best way to approach a new problem is to participate in contests, and that I will cover in the future slides. So contest basically helps you to like provide help you to tackle new problems. You have a habit of solving new problems when you participate in this contest regularly. Why Google not taking freshers? Google do take freshers actually, but the maybe the amount of openings for freshers might be less as compared to the experienced engineers, but they do take freshers. How to approach a new problem which I'm not aware. Okay, this is done, I guess. Okay, cool. A lot of questions are coming up. Let's move ahead with the slides, and if there is any question, if your questions are not answered, do post that at the end. I'll be happy to take up. Cool. So preparing for DSA round. So data structure rounds, we also call it a problem solving round, or sometimes it is also called as a coding round, right? This can be challenging, and I'll probably provide you some few tips which I also personally follow in order to crack these DSA rounds. So the first thing, quality before quantity, and that should be the goal. Like you should never focus on the quantity or the number of DSA problems you're solving. It's not that efficient that if you like able to solve 200, 300 easy level problems as compared to a candidate who has solved maybe 50 medium or 20, 30 hard questions, they can probably might be able to ace the interview, like even if you have solved more number of problems, but the quality of that problem was not that um, at that bar, right? So quality before quantity always. Like don't focus entirely on the number of problems, instead focus on covering more topics in depth, right? So that's the one thing. Second is don't solve huge number of problems for a similar 2 to 3 topics, right? So what happens is that in DSA we have a lot of topics, right? A lot of different data structures are there. Some are basic, some are advanced, some are maybe expert level as well. And in these companies, maybe like in Google or the rest of the fan companies, what happens is that it's not guaranteed that you will be they'll be asking questions around a particular data structure or a particular set of data structures. So what happens that in that case you have to make sure that you have your proficiency in most of the data structures, or basically most of the good and advanced data structures, right, that are like very commonly asked. So you have to increase your breadth. Actually you need to have proficiency in more and more data structures. You should have understanding of graphs, trees, priority queues, that is heap, actually it is join sets, linked list, arrays, like the basic data structures as well, right? So like alone solving a problem, solving a lots and lots of problem on very basic data structures which you already know will not help you that much in the interview, right? So suppose I am very proficient in array or stack, and I like before my interview I continue solving up like 200 to 250 problems only on array and stacks, and I'm very confident that okay, I know the data structures. I prepared very well for days around. I have solved 200 plus questions and I'm gonna ace the interview. But what happens is that in the interview they ask question, very simple question on trees or graphs, but you haven't prepared that. So you might not get selected, you might not able to solve the problem in the interview, and that will like get you rejected in the interview round. So don't make that mistake. Like make sure that you give proper amount of time on good data structures and on a wide variety of data structures. With that, that will ultimately increase your chances of solving problems in the interview. So if you have proficiency in maybe 30 to 40 data structures, then maybe you will be able to solve problems related to that, right? So that is the first thing, that quality before quantity. Now the third thing is that pick one topic and try covering different aspects of it, and once you are confident, move on to the next topic. So you should do it repeatedly. Like don't spend too much time on one topic. You should pick one topic, then try covering different aspects or different area of it. Once you are confident that okay, I am proficient in this topic, then quickly move on to the next one, so that you cover more and more topics, and that will ultimately increase your chances in the interview. So that is one of the best like tip which you can apply when you are like preparing for a TSA round. So these are basically when you have maybe like 1 month or 2 month before the interview rounds, and you are starting to prepare for a DSA round. Right? Okay. Any questions on this one? If there is, I'll be happy to take up. How much time should one spend on understanding the problem? Yeah, that is actually true. So um, I'm not sure in which scenario you're talking about. So how much time should one spend understanding the problem? I think that you are on in the interview round and you have the problem, and in that scenario you're asking, then I guess you need to spend some ample amount of time until you get the problem. So if you get the problem, stop it. But if you're not getting the problem, you should continue spending the time to understand the problem. So that's probably depends upon when you get the problem statement. What is the average time for preparation for companies? Like there is no average time. I'll consider people. I have seen people acing the interview rounds within 1 month or 2 months. I have seen people preparing like from 1 year and still failing the interview. So it depends upon how you utilize those time, right? And how smartly you prepare for it, like how smartly you prepare, how well you are, like how well you are versed in different data structures. That's matter. Okay, cool. Lots of questions again. If there is anything missing, I'll be happy to take up in at the end of the session. Okay, let's move on to the second tip. So, as I was mentioning, use your time wisely. So, like, I understand that none of you are like the college graduates, right? So, you all are like doing a 9 to 5 job or already in corporate, right? So, you must be spending maybe 7 to 8 hours or maybe 9 hours of your day doing your primary job. So that leaves you with maybe 1 to 2 hours or maybe max to max 3 to 4 hours of spare time on a daily basis. So make sure that you use that time wisely, because you already have less time per day. You are dedicating most of your bandwidth on your daily job. So if make sure that whatever time you have left, we are using it wisely for preparation, right? So the first thing is that solve good quality problems. Start getting 2025 easy medium to medium difficulty problems can be beneficial. So on lead code or any other coding um, platforms, like maybe coding ninjas as well, they have a lot of problems. So you can see that the problems have difficulty. So you can like assess that like you are solving good difficulty level problems. It's not that you are like always solving easy level problems continuously. That will not help you, and that will not actually get your time used wisely, right? So you should make sure that even if you have 1 to 2 hours on a daily basis, you are giving it on a good difficulty level problems, and you are like always when you solve good difficulty problems, you learn something new, right? So that you should do. Another thing is that don't aim to solve hundreds of easy level problems. That's what I was talking earlier as well. Don't spend your time solving easy level problems a lot, right? When you have solved 3 to 4 easy level problems on a data structure on a particular topic, you move ahead, you increase your difficulty, and you start solving medium level or a hard level problem, right? So that is the wise thing to do. You don't get stuck in the comfort zone. Now, solving good level problem can provide you some unimaginable ways in which a DSA topic can be applied to a problem. And that's what the essence of a of solving more and more good quality problems. So one thing is that you know that data structure, and another thing is that you know how to solve a problem using the data structure, right? So even if you know a data structure very well and you haven't practiced questions, then I can give you one problem, and even though you are very well versed in that data structure, you will not get that, okay, this data structure can be applied in this way for this problem and can be solved, right? So that's what important. Like along with having a good foundation on data structure, you should solve more and more problems so that you are getting an idea that okay, this is another different way where I can use this data structure to solve a problem, or okay, this is another way. Right? You get more and more different ways in which you can apply a data structure to solve a given problem. So that's what is the second tip. Third is, if you're in a job, you might solve 2 to 3 problems daily. Make sure they're worth solving, right? You get some positive insights after solving them. So that's what I was talking about. Like you all are in your day job, and after that, you are getting maybe 2 to 3 hours, or maybe like max to max 2 to 3 hours. And in that, if you're able to solve maybe 2, 3, or like 4, 5 problems, then you make sure that those problems are of good quality problems, right? If you are solving that problem, you are getting to learn something, right? Otherwise, solving 20 to 30 same kind of easy problems will not like increase your problem solving ability that much as compared to solving these like maybe 3 to 4 medium level or a medium hard problems per day. Like they will help you understanding that okay, these are the different ways in which you can apply a data structure. So that is the second tip, that you should use your time wisely. Okay, so any questions on this one? How to take, okay, the questions are continuously flowing. It's 2 to 3 for only one topic or overall topic is required. I am not able to understand this. How to take notes on a problem to revise and use that note to solve other similar problems. So whiteboarding or like solving a problem, data structure problem on a piece of a paper is really good, is really underrated um, thing. But you should make a habit of like solving a data structure problem on a notebook or a paper. Like you shouldn't do everything in your mind, because you will get like if it's a good problem, if it's a complex problem, then it can be the case that you will not be able to solve just thinking it loud, right? You have to write your thoughts, you have to draw, you have to maybe visualize the problem on a paper, and then only you will be able to get the idea. So that is like really important. Okay, a lot of questions. I got a technical front end round two, so how should we prepare? Okay, this is like I guess out of scope for this session. Sir, I am pre-final year students apart from DSA, which fields I must be proficient in. So apart from DSA, you should have a good knowledge of system design and develop a good foundational development skills as well. And maybe for the same, you can also like try out Coding Ninjas Bootcamp, where they will be providing all these skills so that you can ace these interview rounds, right? Okay, a lot of questions are there. I understand. I might not be able to take it up in a 1 hour window, but yeah, let's take any questions left at the end as well. I'll try to take at like max to max questions I can. Okay, moving on to tip three. So the third tip is to participate in the contest, right? So again, someone asked earlier that how you can actually like solve easy level. Okay, so yeah, someone asked earlier that how you can solve the problems which you are not known or which you have no idea before, like how you can do that. So this is the way which you can like actually solve unknown questions. So the thing is that you should participate in the contests, right? So why you should participate in the contest? It's because it helps you to understand like how you can solve unknown problems. So anyone, like, are you folks like to participate in the contest? Coding is also provide a lot of like coding contests. Do you participate in that? If yes, then type yes. Otherwise, if you are like only solving problems from the from this coding platforms, then like, you can type no. But if you are in a contest, and like, if you are like participating in contest, that's good. Yeah, code case. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay. Now, if you know, then you should like build a habit. Hmm. Okay, cool. A lot of people do not participate in contests. If you don't, then you should ideally. Now, like before moving forward, before I moving forward and I go on with the rest of the slides and I take up your question, like I'd like to share something with you. So yeah, this is regarding the Coding Ninjas Bootcamp. So based on my experience, if you're planning a career transition, it's crucial to upskill and have a solid roadmap, right? So it is important for you to save time and get the right mentorship. So I highly recommend investing in a paid program actually that helps you to build your profile from scratch. Like they provide you all the structured roadmap that what you can do, and they will have provide you expert supports as well, right? So experts like myself are available to teach you in the program, right? It's fine if you want to go ahead with the self study, but in times like these, it's really important to have a tailored roadmap because like you folks already know that how cutthroat a competition is in tech, right? And especially when these kind of new technologies are in, so you might be needing a paid program or a structured mentored course for you to like that can help you in getting good jobs in tech, right? So if you want to understand how a paid program can help you with faster career transition, you can fill in this form, right? Get a chance to connect with the program expert from Coding Ninjas, right? The form is there in the chat, right? Get a chance to connect with the program expert from Coding Ninjas in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and they will explain you about the full stack development 9-month job bootcamp that offers comprehensive training and placement assistance, right? Till you land your job offer completion. Okay, we have, I guess, okay, we have the form here. Cool, cool. Cool. So that was it. That was related to the Coding Ninjas Bootcamp. You should consider filling the form and get in touch with them and get enrolled yourself in these courses, the paid course. Okay. Okay, awesome. So let's move forward with the slides. So as I was mentioning that participating in the contest. So I understand like I got the responses as well. There are a lot of people who there are a lot of people in this session as well who do not participate in contests, and I will strongly urge to do that. Do participate in contests. Why? Because like, this is the slide which will tell you why. So first thing is that interviews are made for testing an individual on how they can solve a potentially unknown problem, right? So in these interviews, in the interviews of fan companies, right, the problems, the DSA problems, which you will get, or the coding problems which you will receive, those problems will definitely be a new problem. It will not be an open problem. Will not be from any other coding platforms. It will be a completely new problem. It might be the case that the approach to solve that problem can be similar to the previous problems you have solved, but it will not be a completely similar problem. It will be a new problem. And that's where your skill should shine, that how you see a new problem statement, how you understand a new problem statement, and how you approach a new problem statement. And after that, how you perform or how you provide an optimum solution for that new statement, right? So these are the things which are important, and that's why participating in contests are important, right? Because when you participate in contests, what happens is that in the contest, if you have first you have a time frame, right? You have a time frame of maybe 1 hour or 2 hours, right? So in that time frame, you have to solve 3 to 4 problems which are completely new, right? Same goes for the interview. In the interview, you have 45 minutes of time and you will get one problem, or maybe in very few cases, maybe two problems which you have to solve. And those problems will be completely new. it will be the case that you might not have solved the problem before. So it is very similar to a contest. Both follow a time simulated environment where you have to solve new problems. The third thing is that when you pick a problem from an archive list, or when you simply go to a platform and you see a list of problems and you pick one, the first thing is that you can actually see that which topic you are like picking the problem from. So you will have an idea that okay, I picked the problem from a graph topic, so it should be solved using a graph data structure, or maybe I have picked the problem from a tree topic, then it should be solved using a tree data structure. So you already have one thing in mind that okay, I have this is the data structure which I have to use. But when you get a problem in the interview, or similarly when you get a problem in the contest, you have no idea which data structure to use. Right? You have no idea which data structure you have to apply. So in that case, what will happen is that you will gonna think wide, right? You will widen your thinking, and you will think in all the directions. Okay, this data structure can be used or not, or this data structure can be used or not. And in this way, it will be able you to think efficiently and think quickly, and it will help you to prepare better for the interviews. So participate, like learn data structures, or like do preparation. But apart from all these things, do try to participate contest maybe on a weekly basis. Like at least try to participate one contest per week, so that it helps you to it provide you an interview simulated environment where you are seeing unknown problem and you're solving them in a constrained time. So that is the third tip, that is to participate in the contest. And I hope like after this slide you folks will build a habit to participate in the contest if you're preparing for these kind of tech roles. Okay, I see a lot of questions here. I'll probably move forward. um, or maybe like I guess, okay, yeah, the third thing is acing your DSA round. So this is like, before that, all the tips which I have mentioned is when you are like actually preparing for your DSA rounds, right? When you are maybe 15 days, 30 days, or 1 month ahead of your interview round and you are preparing for it. But this one is probably when you are actually in your interview. You are in the DSA in a coding round. Interviewer is sitting in front of you. They have provided you a coding problem, and then what you should do, like additionally, in order to make your increase your chances, right? So the first thing is to continuously communicate your ideas and approach with the interviewer. So the first thing that candidate mess up in this kind of interview is that they think of these like interviews as a coding round. I got the problem, I have no idea what the interviewer is telling afterwards. I will start coding and I will gonna solve it. The exact thing which you do in a coding contest. But remember, this is not a coding contest. This is a two-person interview. You have to communicate, right? So build a habit of communicating with the interviewer. When you get the problem statement, right? Try to communicate first that what you are understanding from the problem statement, what you think that approach should be. Let the interviewer communicate with yourself as well, right? Okay, like get understand their views as well, that okay, the approach, if their approach look good to you, or if your approach look good to them or not, right? Take their um ideas in, right? Communicate with them, and then like start coding. But even though when you are coding, like do make sure that maybe within every 3 to 4 minutes you're checking in with the interviewer that hey, I'm implementing this, I'm writing in this method, I'm writing this method to do that, or like whatever you are doing, just give them a short summary within every 3 to 4 minutes, so that the interview does not like the interview does not look one-sided, right? It's very important that interviewer understand your thinking ability, or your way of thinking. It will like give them more confidence on you, and they will provide a better like response. When the interview is done, they'll provide a better response to the hiring committee, that okay, this is a good candidate, or this like whatever the candidate, I know understand what his thinking ability is, and they can be a good fit, right? So continuously communicate your ideas. Now, the second thing which again a lot of candidates, especially the new candidate, mess up is they do not write clean code, or they do not write structured code. So I'll not go into like much depth the clean code, but what happens is that like we are more suited like in coding contests. We don't see the quality of our code, because no one judges your code of the quality. It simply run against a compiler, run against some test cases. If the test cases are passed, you are done. It doesn't matter how you are writing the code, right? It should pass within that given time frame. It should pass for the test case. That's it. But when you are like in a DSA round, an interviewer or a person, like a physical person, is actually seeing your code. So make sure that you're writing good code, right? So writing good code means you're not naming variable like I, J, K, X, Y. Try to make name the variable a bit more uh, descriptive, right? Don't write entire code, a big piece of code in a single method. Try to break them into small methods. Make sure that your one of if you are defining a method, make sure that it is clean. It does one thing, it returns one thing, whatever it takes as an input, it's already specified. Basically, it performs a single job, right? Try to break down your code into methods, clean methods, right? And in this way, keep your code formatted, right? Make sure that you follow the correct indentation, right? You make it neat so that it is very presentable to the interviewer, and they can also present it forward to the hiring committee as well. So that is important, writing clean code. The third thing is that, like, once you are done with the code, it's a good habit to communicate the time and space complexity. That, like, it's a very good habit. Like, even though interviewer has not asked for it, you can still go ahead one step ahead and you can mention that, okay, this was my approach. It looks like that for this approach, this should be the space complexity and this should be the time complexity. So let me know if this complexity works for you. And if doesn't work for them, they will ask you to optimize. Then maybe you can go ahead and do further optimization. And if that looks good to them, then they're gonna accept. Right. So these are the three things which you should definitely do when you are actually in a coding round. That will gonna help increase your chances. Like, if suppose if there are two candidates, if you were the candidate who solved a problem, and there was another candidate who also solved the problem, but you solved the problem. Along with that, you communicated in the interview, you wrote very clean code, you mentioned time and space complexity as well, then it might be the chance that you will get selected. If there is one position, they will prefer you, obviously. So that is the one thing. So we'll solve a DSA problem, but before that, like, I would like to um, ask if there is any question in these slides we have. I see a lot of general questions, which I'd love to take it up at the end. How to create a resume? I like a lot of out of context questions actually. Sir, can you share step by step how to master DSA from beginner edition? Okay, I like there is no proper step by step how to master DSA from beginner, but you can definitely try start with the easy problems and basic data structures and move your way forward to advanced data structures and good problems. Where can we find the contest to participate? A lot of coding platforms. We can basically Google it and you will get a list of a lot of contests basically. Name all 4 to 5 interview rounds. Okay, that's a good question actually. So if you are appearing for these MANG interviews, then you can expect, maybe if you have experience of 3 to 4 years, then you can expect the first um, 3 to 4 rounds to be a data structure algorithms round. Then you can expect 1 or 2 system design round depending upon your experience, and the last one will probably be a leadership or a behavioral round. I hope that clarifies the question. Okay, again, a lot of questions. Which programming language would be much flexible and easy to learn DSA? Ideally, you should go with that. So every programming language can be used, but generally people go with those languages which have a good community support, right? And C++ and Java and Python as well have a very good community support. So maybe you can pick from these three. Okay, so yeah, let's move forward. So in this one, we're gonna solve a DSA problem. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna like present you a data structure algorithms problem, and we're gonna like understand how we can actually solve it. And I'm definitely gonna take your views on that, like how it should be solved, and then we're gonna see the actual solution. And it's a very good way where you can understand, okay, this is also a different way where you can actually apply data structure. So this is a problem. So the problem statement is that you are like given an m cross n integer matrix with the following two properties. So every row is an increasing order, or basically, or we can also say it as a non-decreasing order. So every row is an increasing order, and the first integer of each row is greater than the last integer of the previous row, right? And given an integer, return true if the target is matrix. Okay, target is in the matrix of all. Okay, that makes sense. So basically, this is a matrix, and the numbers are arranged in an increasing format. So from left to right, the numbers increases, and when you go down, then the first row of the preceding, so basically the first number or the first cell of the preceding of the next row is always greater than the last cell of the preceding row. So if you can see my cursor, I'm not sure if my cursor is visible or not, but if you can, then you can see 7 is less than 10. And again, you move forward, the number increases 10 to 11, 16, 20, and then you can see again 23 is greater than 20. So it's kind of a Z fashion in which the number increases continuously. And what we have to do is that given a target, you have to return true if the target is in the matrix, or false otherwise. So basically you will be given a number, and I'm sorry for the background noise. Okay, so sorry for the background noise. Yeah, so again, that's the matrix. The numbers are in the increasing format. You can see the number how they are increasing in a Z fashion. Now, what is happening is that we have a target, and we have to check whether the target exists in the matrix or not. And if the target is present, then we can return true. If the target is not present, then we can return false. So that is the problem we have. So suppose if I say um, if I give you 11, then you check 11 is present in the matrix, you return true. If I give you 21, you check 21 is not present in the matrix, you can return false, right? And the catch is that you must write a solution in log m into n time complexity. So the solution should be a having a logarithmic complexity. So this is the basic problem statement. Now, just let me know in the comments that what do you think about this problem? 2D binary search. Okay, Kritika mentioned 2D binary search. To level of binary search, use binary search. Binary search could be applied. A lot of people are saying binary search. Okay, yeah, that is true. Binary search can be used. Apply binary search to find row, then apply BS on row. That's a good solution. Block search. Okay, what's that block search? Binary search. I have. Okay, then let's start with the basics. If I tell you that give me the most merge sort, I'm not sure if you can use merge sort. Merge sort is used to like sort an array, right? The array, there is no array and there is no sorting needed. Yeah, binary search can be applied. Two pointer. Okay, I'm not sure if this can be solved using two pointer. Okay, binary search, jump search. Okay, let me know if you have to solve with the most basic approach, then what you will do. Like, what should be the most basic approach for this? Two loops do the linear search. Yeah, that's true. That is true actually. So the most basic, yeah, order m cross n. Yeah, that's true. So okay, that's cool. So basically, the most basic approach would be to perform a linear search on the matrix. So you traverse through the matrix, and wherever you find the element, you return true. If your search ends, then and you haven't found the matrix, you return false. And the complexity would definitely be n cross n because you are traversing each and every cell in the matrix. So in the worst case, you will traverse all the cells and there are n cross m cells, where n is the number of rows and n is the number of columns, right? So that is the most basic approach with order n cross n. But the catch here is that it does not need the most basic approach. It does not want a linear time complexity. It wants a logarithmic time complexity. And that's where binary search comes in. So why you can apply binary search is that the data is in a sorted format. So this matrix is sorted. Although you cannot currently see it sorted properly, it's in a Z fashion, but if you will visualize it to be a single array, where I'm just gonna, like if it's a matrix, I'm just gonna expand the matrix and stack rows, all the rows which are down, I can stack the rows one after the other in a serial manner. Then this will be a array or a sorted array. So if I pick first row 1 3 5 7, then I pick 10 11 16 20. After that I pick 23 30 34 60. Then it will be a sorted array, and that's what we have to visualize. So currently we are not visualizing it as a matrix, we are visualizing it as an array. And there is a smart way where when you are on a particular index, you can specify every cell as an index. So suppose I can specify 1 as 0, 3 as 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I can provide index which is an increasing fashion to all these cells, and from that index I can receive the rows and column index. So suppose 0 1 2 3 4. So suppose I provide fourth number 4 of fourth index to number 10, then I can get the row and column. So I can divide 4 by the number of rows, and I can modulo 4 by the number of rows to get the rows and column. And once I get rows and columns of the matrix, I can actually go into that matrix because I have the row ID and the column ID, and I can compare the numbers. So that is the idea. And then I can see if the my number which I'm searching for is less or greater. If it is less, then I can do go to the left part. If it is greater, I can go to the right part, and if it is equal, then it means that I have found the target and I'll return true. Right? So although it looks like a matrix, we will gonna use that in a as a two-dimensional array format, and that's where the gist of the problems lie. Right? You have to visualize that this as a sorted array, not a 2D matrix. So so now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna move ahead. I'm gonna like show you the solution, and just take a look and let me know what do you think about it. So this is the solution. That's what I explained earlier. It's performing a binary search on a two-dimensional matrix. What it is taking it as a start and the end and a target, right? So you have a start and the end, basically whatever index you have provided. So we are starting with 0 and ending end pointer will be m cross n. That will be the last ID of the cell. And then we are doing a binary search, right? So we are going to the mid, then we are from the mid, from every index, we are getting the row and the column address. So we are dividing it by the matrix of length, and we are modeling it with the matrix of length to get the row and the column ID. And that this is how you can get the row and column ID. And then we are checking if that's a target or not. If it's a target, then we return true that we found the target. If it's not the target, if it's less than the target, then we will gonna search the left part. If it's greater than the target, we search the right part of the visualized area. And if everything is done and we did not find any kind of any solution, then what we'll do is that we will gonna return false. Right? If all things are done and we're not able to find a solution, we return false. And in this way, you can solve this problem in log m cross n, because the array which we have visualized is no longer a matrix, is a stacked rows. So the length of the array is m cross n, that is number of cells in the matrix. And binary search always performs in a log of n time, where n is the size of the array. And here n, the size of the array is m cross n. So the complexity becomes log m cross n. Shouldn't be log m plus log n. No, it shouldn't be log m plus log n, because it is performing binary search on an array, and the array is equal to the size of a matrix or a number of cells in the matrix, right? The number of cells in the matrix is m cross n. So it should always be log of m cross n, because it is performing on that entire matrix which is visualized as an array. Okay. Okay, that's a good question. Mayank asking why we are moduling for column. So if you will see this array, you can always see that at any row, if we modulo it by the column, we will get the column ID, right? So for 10, it's at the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth index, right? So if you modulo it by column, then 5 modulo 4 will give you 1. Similarly, 6 modulo 4 will give you 2, right? Sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 10 is at the fourth index. So 4 modulo 4 will give you 0, 5 modulo 4 will give you 1, 6 modulo 4 will give you probably 2, and 7 modulo 4 will give you 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Again, this will repeat 0, 1, 2, 3. And this should repeat, right? The column will always be 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. That's why we are modeling it with 4 in order to get the repetitive value. And you divide the rows to get the row index, right? So all the first row will have the index from 0 to 3, and if you divide it by 4, for everything you will get 0. Again, here it is from 4 to 7, we divide it by 4, you will always get 1, right? So we are making it constant at a particular row level because rows will be constant at a particular row level, obviously. So that is the idea. You can do it on the pen and paper. That would be the best way to visualize this. But when you do it on the pen and paper, you're gonna actually understand that what is like this is this holds true for each and every cells on the matrix, and that's how you can actually like solve this problem. So I hope you like this problem statement. We maybe have 5 to 6 more minutes, and I'll be happy to take up any questions if it's related to the code as well, or if related to this like uh, topic we talked about. How to manage time for DSA and personal projects along with office work. Context switching is stressful. Yeah, that is true. That's a very like major issues. Context switching, right? So what you can do is that you can provide like you need to be proficient in multitasking, but it shouldn't be the case that you are providing a very small time to each and everything. That will increase the number of times you switch the context. So give a considerable amount of time, maybe 3 to 4 hours on a particular task, and then do a context switch to another task, and then give up like maybe 1 to 2 hours or whatever time is that. Like, do a considerable amount, give a considerable amount of time so that you minimize context switching, right? Because you have to do context switching in some point of time, but you make sure that you do it very minimal in a very minimal way, providing maximum amount of time in to a given task. Is LLD asked in man companies for ST2? Yes, they can. Like in the system design round, they maybe it can be related to HLD, but they can definitely like ask a question around LLD as well. That's completely normal. With the start and end in the caller code. Yeah, that's a good question. So start is the 0th index, and the end is the end index. Basically, that is the size of the matrix. So m cross n minus 1 because we are uh, having a zero based index, obviously. Dhruvan asked, which is more weightage, personal project or DSA or system design, which requires most priority. So personal projects are important for your resume, right? It will help you get your resume shortlisted. It shows your technical proficiency. But when you are in these round, DSA or system design round, then your skills around data structure algorithms or system design will be at the most priority. So it depends upon the scenarios. Maybe during the resume shortlistment, personal projects have a higher weightage, but maybe on a in a DSA round, DSA skills will be higher weightage. On system design, during a system design round, your system design high level, low level design skills will be at a higher weightage, right? Most asked DSA concept in the interviews. There are like not no such any most asked DSA concepts. Can be anything. You just need to prepare well for the like need to keep your um, concepts wide, or basically you should have a understanding of wide variety of concepts so that it increases your chance. Solving on a paper is different. Okay, this question is okay. Solving a paper on paper is different from solving on a notepad. In a real interview, I'm unable to solve a document. How to get comfortable with solving on a document? So even though like in these DSA interviews, you might be given a Google Doc or some kind of document where you have to solve the problem, but still you can like tell the interviewer that hey, I have this notepad and a pen handy so that I you can like visualize your problem. That's completely fine. Along with solving the problem on a document, you can definitely have a pen and paper, and you can actually like solve whatever thinking you have or whatever visualization you need to do. You can do that on that pen and paper, and then you can actually solve write a code in on the a document. I can see a lot of teams are there in Google, such as YouTube Cloud Ads, etc. Which will you suggest us if you want to get fast interview call, and whether the system design on will be dependent on team which are applying for it? It will be general. That's a very good question actually. So I personally will not suggest like a particular team for a fast interview call, because I cannot guess that. Like, I'm not sure how a particular team, because within YouTube as well there are a lot of teams, within cloud as well there are a lot of teams, right? So we don't know that which team functions in what ways. The only team members and the manager of that team has an idea about how fast paced a team is, or how well executed that team is, right? So there is no way of understanding it. It totally depends upon your um, passion. If you are more into like understanding what a YouTube is, or how video processing is done at scale, maybe you can join YouTube. If you want to understand how like Google Cloud serves millions and millions of startups and big companies to scale their businesses, maybe you can go for cloud. If you are interested, I myself I am in the ads domain, right? I work in Google Ads as a engineer. So maybe if you're interested in how ads function at a huge scale, then you can go into ads. So it totally depends upon your passion. And the second is like whether the system. So actually it can be the case that the system design round, the questions or the problems you are getting is really uh, suited with that domain. I have seen people like framing a questions or problems which they have actually faced previously in their team or in their organization. So that happens a lot, but I'm not sure in these big companies that can be the case. Like in these big companies, they already have a structure or a list of interview questions which is there in a private databases, and they generally ask questions on that. So it's not like always true, but I have seen many companies who ask system design question on the basis of the problems which they have like faced previously in their journey. Okay, a lot of questions. Not sure I'll be able to take up. Okay, see. I can see there are a lot of questions here, like Coding Ninjas Bootcamp as well, which I have unanswered now. So, and like I would like to like call a Coding Ninjas program expert, right? Who they can like take 10 minutes of your time, and they will be able to explain how Coding Ninjas Bootcamp can be beneficial for you to upskill yourself in your career, right? And how you can make the best of a good career transition. So over to the
Hey, thank you so much, Saurav, for your time, and we had lovely session today. And yeah, I can see there are a lot of questions around coding